Achievements in video games have to be one of the most satisfying things when done right and annoying things when done wrong in today's gaming landscape. Putting goals for your players to accomplish that present a real challenge can elongate a game's playtime and make that extra backtracking oh so satisfying when you finally get that pop-up, while in contrast, giving players achievements every single time they get 10 kills with each weapon is just annoying and interrupts the flow of the multiplayer match or single-player campaign every time you have to deal with one of them. Whether we're talking about those Xbox-style achievements or just self-imposed goals that players set for themselves, I personally love seeing games that have these, especially when they make them crazy hard to accomplish. This is probably highlighted best in me playing RuneScape for most of my time in middle school to early high school, a game that's essentially Achievement Hunter the game. That entire MMO is all about the grind, setting crazy hard goals for yourself, grinding for hundreds of hours, and being rewarded with a satisfying payoff. Sadly though, a lot of games don't seem to do this anymore, especially multiplayer games where they should be commonplace. Like, you know how in single-player RPGs, leveling up doesn't feel nearly as satisfying as leveling up in an MMO because you don't have anyone in-game that you can show that accomplishment off to? It's the same principle here. Multiplayer games should be littered with achievements and accomplishments that are difficult to do but satisfying for players to complete and show off to everyone. Maybe some of the developers out there today are a bit scared to put these kinds of things in their games because they don't want to alienate casual players too much or make them feel like they're missing out on anything. But Overwatch has done exactly what I'm talking about in a really interesting and really cool way, and I think it's one of the reasons I'm hooked on the game. Overwatch has a lot of good and bad things about it, but my absolute favorite has to be the leveling system. The leveling system in Overwatch is actually somewhat similar to the leveling system in League of Legends in a couple ways, where leveling itself doesn't actually do that much, the big thing being you can unlock ranked play at a certain level. In League it's level 30, in Overwatch it's level 25. Overwatch does reward players a bit beyond that, where every time they level up they get a loot box that gives them cosmetics for their heroes, skins, voice lines, sprays, and victory poses, but that's not what I like about the leveling. The thing I find so interesting about it is the leveling in Overwatch goes on essentially forever. You start off at level 1 and can go all the way up to level 100, but after reaching level 100 you'll prestige in the Call of Duty type system and go back to level 1, repeating the process over and over. Leveling and prestiging only gives you this little flare around your character's portrait for everyone to see in game, which starts off really simple but can get pretty elaborate and cool looking. In total, there's 190 different variations of it that you'll unlock between levels 1 to 1890. This is the kind of impossible achievement I want to see more of in multiplayer games. I'm not too sure how many hours you'll have to put in to get that border at level 1890, but that's a daunting task that probably only a small percentage of players will reach. It's a really cool system because it only gives a small cosmetic but super satisfying reward to dedicated fans, people that put in hours upon hours of playtime, whether it's for fun reasons or competitive. It should be noted that a lot of other games already do give rewards to a small percentage of players out there, but this is usually determined solely based off of skill. Like in League of Legends, the majority of players don't even play ranked, but for those who do, the top 30% in gold and above get end of season rewards, the top 10% platinum and above get fancy borders, top 2% diamond and above get even fancier borders, and so on and so forth. But these aren't necessarily rewards that need to be given out. The main reason I say that is being that good at the game is a better reward in and of itself. Whether you're talking about StarCraft or Counter-Strike or League of Legends, I'm not saying that people shouldn't reward the best players out there, but for the best players out there, being able to destroy 99.9% of the community to the point where everyone looks up to you and your level of skill is already a pretty satisfying reward, I can imagine, and one that I would suspect is a whole lot better than a little extra flair in their loading screen. I still believe we should keep giving these rewards out to players. It would be dumb to take them away now, and of course, give a little extra to the people that are the best of the best, but I'd love to see more appreciation for players that put in dedication beyond how good they are. Like, what if whenever someone gets 1,000,000 mastery points for a champion in League of Legends, we give them a summoner icon of that champion? To put that in perspective, I play almost non-stop Aurelia and have just over 300,000 mastery points. This is something that only a small percentage of players would ever get, but it would commend the insane level of dedication they have. Currently, there's no distinction between someone who has 40k mastery points and level 7 mastery compared to someone who has over 1,000,000. I do realize this isn't a very good comparison. The brilliant thing about the Overwatch system is even if you are going for that level 1890 goal, you'll always have incremental achievements to look forward to. The next 10 levels where you get your next bit of flair, the next few experience where you get another loot box. If you just have an impossible goal where you put it out of everyone's reach, you're not going to have a lot of people chasing it, but this is still something I'd like to see more games do. You don't have to put Xbox-style pop-up achievements in your game to encourage people to keep playing it. Just having rewards out there that encourages players to set goals for themselves can really make playing a game a much more fulfilling experience than it otherwise would be, and it lets people play the game in other new creative ways they might not have thought of. Anyway, I appreciate you listening to this video all the way to the very end. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, good luck in solo queue and have a wonderful day.